Arsenal would expect, of course, to beat Norwich. I thought they did quite well in the second half. Early on, Norwich, they changed their system, but in the end, Aubameyang's just too good. And I think it comes down to that, really, Jake. He's a player that Arsenal, can they really afford for him to leave? That's going to run and run. They're desperate to get him signed up for next season. You need that player in your team. Gives everyone else belief that you can win football matches.
We had Arsenal on BT Sport at the weekend. They won their game. Arsenal fans felt you were a little bit critical of them. What do you think after tonight?
I wasn't critical of them on in terms of getting a result. I'm talking the bigger picture. There's things to do, but today you have to give them credit. They've gone out there, they performed well. Yes, Norwich was sloppy. Yes, Norwich put them into the game, crawled a mistake for the first goal, really set the tone for the rest of the game. But Arsenal then have to still take the game on and finish it off, and today they've done that, and Arteta will be a pleased man, I'm sure.
But there's a famous quote from Christopher Reeve. He says, once you choose hope, anything is possible. As a Norwich fan, I choose to choose hope, but you're both experienced former professionals. Should I have any hope at all, Martin?
Well, you've only won 5 games all season, Jake, and you need to win the next 4 matches. So, no, I don't think there is any hope, fella, to be fair.
Yes, mate.
But, look, I think there's been some positives with the young players that they've got there. The Norwich fans won't thank me for saying it. They're going to have a hell of a job to hold on to some of those. But that's the process at Norwich. They develop young players. They haven't really spent a great deal of money. So I suppose we shouldn't be surprised that they're going to go down. It does look inevitable, Jake.
Listen, Norwich, at the end of the day, I think we spoke about before that the philosophy of the football club is of huge importance, and going down, I think, won't affect them in that sense. They'll stick to what they're doing, bringing through young players, trying to buy cheap in the marketplace and get the best out of them players that come in, and hopefully that'll take them up next season. If they
so you've written them off already. Let's just be.
Yeah, I can't see Norwich staying up, and I think you're in agreement with me. Yep.
No. Because of the current bottom 5, they just can't seem to get a win at the moment. So actually, the weird thing is, gentlemen, Norwich are in exactly the same position as they were at the restart. They were 6 points away from the safety line, and they remain that. Because look at this, Brighton beaten, shush you, Brighton beaten by Manchester United, Norwich beaten by Arsenal, Bournemouth beaten by Newcastle. Of the current bottom 5, since the restart, they've played 15 games. No one's managed to win just yet. They're really struggling down towards the bottom. However, today, for Arsenal, it certainly wasn't a struggle. Let's just show you the way it looks in the league, actually. And Arsenal now, as you can see here, will move up to 7th. 6 points from the Champions League. Look, that looks improbable, but probably not impossible. And we believe that depending on what happens in the FA Cup and with the Manchester City appeal in the Champions League, 8th could be enough to see you back into Europe next season. And Arsenal, as you can see, currently in the top 7. However, down at the bottom, I'm afraid it is difficult for Norwich fans. It's just as hard for Bournemouth fans who had a bad evening this evening. Villa are the only team down there to have picked up any points since the restart began. I mean, it's amazing, really, to think that Norwich, with a couple of wins, would change that picture considering the results they've had this season. But I am slightly inclined to agree with my much more experienced guests that maybe things are starting to look slightly different.
Over 3 wins on the bounce, it does so much for the confidence of this team. But I want to ask about you. You scored your 50th and your 51st goal today for Arsenal. You're the quickest Arsenal player to do that in the Premier League era. You're a humble man, but how proud are you?
Really proud, really proud. But first of all, I'm proud of the team. What we did today, I think we deserve the win because we did a great job. Everyone's working very well today. So really happy and proud, yes.
But for you personally as a striker, I mean, you're always hungry for the goals, but to be able to, make history like that.
Yeah, I think I'm really happy today. My performance was, I think, good. And yes, I'm always happy to score goals and help the team to win games, so yeah.
Well, we saw Bukayo sign a new deal today. I know all Arsenal players would love you to do the same. Will you?
Yeah, I know, and I'm really happy that Bukayo signed the thing. And now we see, we talk with the club, and we're gonna see what's gonna happen. But first of all, I'm really focused on the games and in this end of the season, so we'll see.
And do you see the positive signs in the club? Do you see that the team are working so well together in the last few games since the restart? And
as I
new
said,
signings, introductions, Cedric also scoring?
Yeah, as I said, since Mikel is in, we're doing well and we're working very well. So yeah, we have good signs that we are improving.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, brilliant from him this evening. I'm always interested in the way these sort of contracts work. If you want to stay at a football club, and who wouldn't think that Arsenal would want to keep him? They absolutely would. Why not just say, yeah, I want to stay. We'll get round to having a conversation.
Because it's a game of chess, isn't it? He wants to get as much value for himself as possible. The club probably want to drive that down a little bit and have to come somewhere in the middle. So if he shows his hand too early, the club know he wants to stay and he stated that publicly, then they don't have to go as far as he wants them financially maybe. But also he might be asking questions of the club as well. What's your recruitment policy going to be going forward? Which players are coming in to play alongside me? Am I looking like I'm going to be growing into a team that's going to mature into actually competing for the big titles? That's where I want to be. Can Arsenal give me that?
He'll want to be in the Champions League as well, Martin, won't he?
Of course. I think he has a very difficult decision to make. He clearly loves the club. The way that he scored all these goals, beating Henry to that in a team that really you can't say was anywhere near the quality that the club once had. So you have to credit him with that. But he may be looking at other clubs, an ambition to win things. Can Arsenal meet his needs? That's really the big question for him. I sincerely hope that he stays. You need, as I said earlier, that striker to give you the belief to win games of football. And at the moment, I don't really see too many better than him in Europe, never mind in the Premier League. So it's vital that Arsenal hold on to him.
And of course, the way it works, the more goals he scores, the more he drives his price up. So it was lovely of Norwich to do him a few favours this evening. Add a few zeros onto that contract for him.
Yeah, but listen, Norwich, they shot themselves in the foot a number of times today. The first goal in any game is always critical.
Why didn't they start with that system? So every game I watch them in, they always seem to, the changes they make makes them better. But I then question the manager. Why didn't he, he gets it wrong tactically for me.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, let's get some more reaction very quickly from the Emirates. We can hear from Mikel Arteta with Reshmi.
Mikel, 4 goals, clean sheet, 3 important points, 3 wins on the bounce. How pleased are you with today's performance?
Yeah, I'm very happy. A lot of the things that we worked on and that we are trying to evolve actually happen in the game. The way we press, how aggressive we were, the way we play in the opponent half. The first 43 minutes were really good. And after we have a lapsus, and it's something that we have to improve as a team, the way we ended the first half, giving a ball away in a very dangerous area, and then with the way we started the second half. And then we picked it up again, we made some changes. Overall, I'm really happy, because I know that every 3 days is not easy to do what they're doing.
I mean, you move up to 7th for now, but psychologically, what does that do for the team, even if that position changes in the next few days?
I'm not worried about the table now, it's just how we keep evolving, playing better, will take us closer to win football matches, and I think we are controlling the games much better. Again, we are doing things that we are constantly talking about, and hopefully they can gain confidence, trust, and day by day we can be a better team.
Aubameyang scored his 50th and 51st Premier League goals, the fastest Arsenal player to do that in the Premier League era. How important is he to your side?
Credit to them. That we were talking that he wasn't scoring many in the last few weeks. He's the type of player that he is. He's always trying to be the best, to score goals, to help the team, and I'm really glad with him, and not only for the goals but with his attitude overall.
Bukayo signed a new deal today. Cedric came on and scored a goal on his debut. As you say, you've got things to work on, but how positive are you in general in terms of the signs going forward, not just on the pitch, but in the team spirit and everything going on here?
Yeah, we try to make decisions. Some ones are easy, some ones are more difficult, but always in the benefits of the players first, the team and the club. And I'm really glad with what happened with Bukayo this week, because he totally deserves this new contract, and with Cedric as well, because the boy had a tough time since he joined, and I'm glad that he played his first game and he actually scored.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Pleased for him. Things very much moving in the right direction for Arsenal. Let's take the conversation back to Norwich. I want to talk about their next few games they've got coming up. And I know what the two of you have just said about the fact that hope should be over. But look at the next few fixtures. Brighton, Watford, West Ham. I mean, Watford and West Ham particularly struggling for results at the moment. So Norwich are still just 2 wins away from getting to that line. Win the next 3 and everything changes.
Yeah, if they win the next 3, I mean, it's form tells you that's going to be a very, very big ask. But in that dressing room, they've got to be sitting there and they've got to be coming together, and there's got to be experience in there, bringing the guys together. They've got some young players in that team who are playing lots of games, who are integral to this team now. And the experienced players have got to try and drag those players through this period, the manager, the coaching staff. And listen, there is hope. When you look at fixtures like that, there are teams that are around them who aren't winning as well. So that is an opportunity for them to hopefully capitalise on. But they've got to find that confidence and that rhythm and that momentum from somewhere to kind of get through the back end of this season and give themselves a chance.
And I think, it's important that we make a mention of Wigan fans this evening. We're so sorry for them to see their club going into administration today. And that's a good example, Martin, of how difficult it's going to be for many football clubs in this sort of post-COVID, if you can call it post-COVID yet, this post-COVID football world. Yeah, you look at a team like Norwich and they absolutely have a plan. They don't have a rich benefactor. They have a plan that sees them as a self-sustaining football club. And even if you get relegated from the Premier League, the future is still okay. And that's probably more important than anything at the moment.
Yeah, they're very prudent with everything they do at the club. It's well run, as you say. A sad day for football to see Wigan going into administration. I hope there's not many more that follow them. And Norwich, they've got really good assets there, aren't they? Players that they've developed, brought through. It will be a shame for the supporters to see that broken up. But as you say, Jake, if you take it one game at a time, it's Brighton next one up. And they've really that's all they can do. What have you got to lose now if you're a Norwich player? Everybody's saying you're down. It's about the manager finding the right system, the right group of players. There's been so many changes in the formations and these few games that they've played. They've lost their way a little bit. So it's back to the drawing board for them, but they're still in with a shout because it's remarkable no one winning around them.
It's crazy, isn't it? Look, Martin, thank you very much indeed. We'll let you get back to the estate. I'm sure there's large lawns to mow tomorrow, so get an early night. Appreciate your company. Rio, thank you very much. You with us for the weekend?
Yep, we're here.
Wonderful. More Norwich against Brighton. Just to let you know, the Champions League Goals Show Retro follows straight after us right here on BT Sport Inter.